All right, here we are again. Welcome to Sports Talk with Duey podcast. This is season 2, episode 3. We continue our guests in the summertime. Today we have a special guest. I want to get a manager on here today because they've had so many special experiences and they're kind of our backbone for our success. I have Jacob Riben on. Did I say your last name right?
Yes, Riben.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So he's a special guest. We're gonna get so many cool experiences. How have you been? How's your summer been going? I know you just graduated.
It's been going. Just been umping a lot. Big time umpire here in Michigan. So I just did the district tournament, so that was cool.
Do
The
you
first
eject
level.
people and stuff?
No, never have actually. It's kind of the parents don't bother me anymore. They used
That's
to.
good. Hopefully you get chirped less than at Pitt basketball games.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah, let's get right into it. So what years were you manager?
I was all four. I was freshman and senior, so it'd be 2021 to 2025. So my first year was
The 11 win team,
yeah, and then yeah, last year's
the
team. So
March
yeah,
Madness team, last year's with Bub, and then this year's tough season.
yeah, up and
So
down.
yeah, we'll get into that. So, going into college, what made you want to be a manager?
I kind of wanted to just be a part of something, and I couldn't play, so I just wanted to stay within something at Pitt, and luckily I knew someone that knew Coach T.O. So just went from there and got an interview with Brian Regan, our director of operations, and then I got the job, and then ever since then it's been history.
It's funny because I've talked to the other manager, George Diatri, and he said
Yeah,
he got the manager job because of T.O. as well. So does T.O., is he like the plug to all the manager spots?
yeah, he's the plug. I mean, he's been everywhere, so yeah, he knows
Yeah.
everyone, and you know.
So when you started as a manager, were there any like, big time training involved at all to start out? Like, did you have like an orientation week for being a manager, like, or any big time training? Like, oh, I had to train for like a couple weeks before you started.
No, I mean, literally the first day. I remember I got the job, it was a Monday, and we started school like Wednesday. And I remember I started Tuesday. So it was literally the day after I started. The only training was they sit us in a room and they go over the guidelines like no betting, all that stuff. So we're not allowed to do that technically.
Oh yeah,
Um
because
but
you
yeah,
could
I mean
probably
that's
give
literally
out.
the only thing. They just give us that talk and then you kind of just learn on the fly. The
So
older
they
kids,
should throw you
yeah,
into the wolves.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, what are your like responsibilities on game days, during the game, practice, travel, and any other big roles? So this might take a while, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
interested in everything you do.
Yeah. Let's I guess to break it down, we can start with like practice. I'll take you through like a day in practice and then we'll do a game and then we'll do travel. So practice, we usually practice at 1 this past year. In my 4 years we did. It was like 1, 12, whatever, that time. So some of the managers I did more when I was younger. Steve Iben, he's another manager. He was really good at, doing the morning workouts. I give him credit for that. So sometimes there's morning workouts at like 9, 10 a.m. Even with TO in the past, it could be like 7 a.m. So you got to get that. We have a group chat. You got to make sure someone's on that. So let's just say I didn't go to that. Usually go to class and then get to practice hopefully an hour before. And right then, we're getting everything ready. So that is, geez, it's been a minute, but take it through. We go get the carts in the back gym and the balls. Let's just say we're in the main gym. Get the speaker. I Kenny Starr used to carry the speaker. I got to carry the speaker this
Yeah, that
last
was
year.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Okay, so got the speaker. I usually had to get it. Nobody else wanted to carry that. Put towels on the chairs, waters, number order. Make sure coach's box is ready, which is basically like, there's gum in there, hand sanitizer, whatever. Coach has his own thing he likes, but everyone can sort of pick out of it, candy. And then, just start to rebound. So, guys start to come out, I remember J-Lo always came out at like 45. He always came out early. So rebound for him. And then, everyone starts to trickle out. And
So,
that's pre-practice. Then practice, there's a ton of roles. You could do, I did the clock my senior year. So just running clock, making sure everything's good, which is a little more stressful than you would think, because super fast paced. But other than that, like a lot of the guys are like helping out in drills, making sure everything is ran smoothly. Like even like 3-man weave to 3-man passing, got to make sure cones out there. So it's little drills and little things, that we're all talking. There was this drill called team shooting that all the managers, they'll know when they listen to this. It's kind of a pain, you got to get the balls out of there and it's moving. So, but no, I mean, and then post practice, practice in the fall is usually about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But then during the season, it could be like, after a game, it's just film or whatever. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah. So after practice, a lot of guys like to shoot, and you even have your routines with guys. Like, me and a couple other managers, we went to the same end every day, and Bub and Zach used to shoot together. Zach always had a routine this past year, and we're really like we did the same thing every day. I had to pass the ball to Zach before he made his last shot, like little things that you would just not even think of. So you rebound for a while, and then you just clean up, and that's a day. And by the time you're out of there, it's probably 3 hours later. So that's just a
So
practice. That's one practice.
yeah, I had a couple classes with the guys in the morning times. It seemed like, they have classes in the mornings like 9:30 to 10:45, and then, they'll go. So they're probably at the peak like on a non-game day, like what, like 11 to 5 or so. Then they have night
Yeah,
class.
yeah, because they have lift, and then usually after practice, we are lucky we do get a meal every day, which is super
Nice.
nice. Um, yeah, so that was nice.
So they have lifting and they have practice. They probably do they have some treatment as
Treatment
well.
after, yeah, yeah. Obviously, we don't have to go through, we don't have to go to lift, but or treatment, but we're still there. So I mean, we're
Right.
there the same amount of time, maybe even longer some days.
Do they have a study hall?
Yeah, they do, they do. Hey, I'll give a lot of them credit. A lot of them, shout out Amsel in class. He'll know what I'm talking about.
We were in the same class. I forgot
Yeah, we
about
were.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and remember we did that well, you weren't in our group, but we did that group.
I remember, Jalen and Fetty are somewhat participative in class, so I'll
Hey,
give them
they all
that.
did their share. The
And
narrative has to switch.
the twins were in a couple of my classes. They were very participative as well, and Papa, so I'll give them credit. They're just not ballers. They do care about. I remember Jalen was telling me that he does care about his like essays and stuff. So like the
Yeah.
stereotype is not true.
Yes. Yes.
So let's talk about what's your responsibilities on a game day.
Okay. So we got through the practice. So now at game day. Let's just say the game is at 7.
Yep.
Oh, we have to be there so shoot around is always 5 hours before game, so that'd be 2. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember, you guys used to line up early when those big games.
Yeah, the Oakland. So I would usually, when I was a zoo leader, I would get there 3 hours before tip. So I would get there at 4, and I would see all you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're putting in tickets and stuff. Yeah. So we would have to get there around 1.
Hmm.
Or that's when, usually the older guys got there, like me, Steve, and George. We were the 3 seniors. So we tried to get there by 1. And then from there, you do the same thing as basically practice. You set up everything. You didn't have to do waters, sometimes towels, but, you get the coach's box, all that out. So that's normal. Shoot around is just, a normal hour. We do our thing, whatever. So after shoot around is when things start to pick up, kind of, some of us, we put chairs in the locker room to get ready. They all sit before the game in front of a whiteboard. What else? Something I knew I was assigned to. I had to move all the scooters in the locker room. All the guys got scooters.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was, so
All of
that
them
was,
use them.
yeah. We actually did get pregame meal, which was super nice. So that we would all go bond, some of the team, the whole coaching staff, the managers, we all kind of, intertwined up there and just had fun before the game. But yeah, I mean, there's little stuff like we had to get the coach's room ready where coach goes and the other coaches go before they come to the locker room, put some snacks in there, just M's, peanuts, stuff like that. Get coolers ready for the coach's room and for the court, make sure there's waters, Gatorades are all full. Set everything up on the bench. The whiteboards are ready, tape and chairs, everything's good. And then as we get closer to the game, we get in the locker room, someone's playing music. Usually George was playing music this year. And then other guys are rebounding for pregame warmups. So usually the younger kids rebound. And, then it's game time. And then after the game, it's really simple actually. We just really clean up fast and then we're out of there.
Nice. So I remember one time I was like doing something for the zoo, and I like probably was not supposed to be in the gym, and they were just like blasting music, like all the players were like stretching back and forth. What is that shoot around like maybe like
Well,
4 hours before?
It would have been, yeah, shoot around is usually they stretch, the daily stretching, and then it kind of changes on game, but you'll usually go through your scouting. You'll do like some individual drills like guards, bigs together, and then scout the other team. So you'll do your own plays. I meant then do
Gotcha.
that, then scout the other team. So that's usually
Yeah,
like a normal shoot around.
I have seen like the managers and the coaches like talk to players like before the game, probably with like some scouting reports about the other team and stuff, or
Yeah,
like some
yeah,
analytics or whatever.
yeah.
So that yeah, that's super cool. Let's talk about travel when you're going on the road.
Traveling is it's super fun, I'd say, but it's a ton of work if I'm being honest.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, like you're working the whole time. So I'll just bring up a normal travel game. Where'd we go this year?
So yeah, so say you're going to Cameron Indoor, like, what are you flying in like the day before and what do you have
Yeah.
to do and stuff?
Okay, so the prep really starts. So let's say that game was on, I mean, a Tuesday. So we played
Tuesday
that
night.
Saturday. I don't remember who we played. Then the prep really starts Sunday for the game, but also the packing starts. Our equipment guy, he would start to pack, Sunday, and then by Monday we'd be leaving. So Sunday really the prep is there. Steve used to help pack a lot too, so they did that while we practice, and then Monday is travel day. We get to let's just say we practice at noon this day because we like to get out a little early. Usually there at 11, doing my normal stuff, practice stuff. Right, practice ends at like 2. The bus leaves to the airport at 3, so we have a meal. But the managers, we got to pack the bus, and it's we have each compartment is packed with different things. So the first one's like players, coaches' bags, our bags, personal bags. Second one is like it'd be like the shoe bag, some of the bigger bags, and the third one was more like our strength stuff. So we kind of had that down. So then we packed the bus, or yeah, packed the bus, drive to the airport. We do get a police escort, which was awesome
That's cool.
In that Pittsburgh traffic, sometimes. So we get to the airport, we go right on the what's it called? Uh what's it called? The tarmac, yeah. So the plane's waiting, the TSA people are waiting. Get off the plane. Us managers get off first all the time on a bus, plane, anything, because we have to unload. So unload all the stuff off the bus, get that ready for the people who are gonna load the plane. Everyone else is getting on the plane. And then get on the plane, fly. The flights are super nice because you have your own row, and it's super nice, and you can lay down.
It's like a private plane, right?
Yeah, private plane.
Dang.
I like to lay down. So yeah, plan the rides were awesome. And then let's just say we get to North Carolina. We get off the plane first. We usually go to no, actually, this is where a lot of people wouldn't know this, but this is a cool thing. So the managers would go to the bus. So the bus is waiting outside the plane. And we would get all the compartments open and ready. And actually, the coaching staff and the team would go get all the bags from the thing that shoot it, what's it called, whatever it is, and they would bring it to us, and we'd load the bus. So it was super cool because everyone helped, and it just made it go by faster. So then we leave the airport, right? That's just travel day. So then we get to the hotel. We have to unpack the bus again. Got to get everything into. We had a meeting room and a meal room, and sometimes those meeting rooms were, you had to take elevators, which suck. So we usually have a meal right away. So let's just say we unload everything, and it's a quick turnaround. Then you have meal, and then you go straight to night shoot around. And as a manager, I will say these were the worst because it's 60 minutes on the clock and it's free shooting. So that just means like, everyone's just screwing around and we just rebound. Like we had fun times, but they sucked. So that's a
So
night. We get back to the hotel. After that, unload the bus again, whatever we took. And then we have late night snack and then go to bed. So that's just travel day.
dang.
So then I'll make this kind of quicker. So we wake up, let's just say the game is at 7 again.
Mhm.
Had breakfast, whatever, do our thing, have some free time. Shoot around. It could be different on the road, but you still go to the arena for an hour, come back, pregame meal, get everything packed up onto the bus. We leave the game. When did we leave? We usually left like 2.5, 3 hours before, get to the arena, and then it's just a game day, honestly, from there. You have to do a couple different things, but you adjust and After the game, we go quick, especially with a loss. But a win still, we like to get home. Like everyone wants to go home. So we load that bus up, drive to the airport, do the same thing over, come home. And yeah, that's a travel day. That's a
So, y-
travel couple days.
so is there any games where you would actually stay over in the city? Like you usually
Yeah.
just went home, or
Yeah, so we called those double trips. They had one last year and then two this year. And the two this year or this past year. So 2 years ago we had one. This past year we had two. It was Mississippi State and then we went right to Virginia Tech. And that was actually during finals week. That's a fun, yeah. That was a fun week. And then the second one was North Carolina to SMU to Dallas.
but if it's not a double trip, you guys just come straight home at
Yeah.
like 3,
No.
4 a.m.
Yeah. We've gotten back at 4 or 5.
and they expect you to go to class the next day and practice.
Some do. Practice for sure, but Mr. Ruck was always cool about understanding, but I still try to make it his class. Shout out, Mr.
Oh, he's the goat. I had him as well. Shout out, Dr. Ruck. So, what was your quick side convo? What was your favorite road arena in the ACC or in general?
I really like Duke. I feel like that's such a generic answer. You
Yeah,
know what? We had a lot of fun at the Greenbrier, I will say. We had a lot of fun there. So,
the shot clock saga.
yeah, but like the games were fun. It was just so, it felt like an AAU tournament because like after the game, you could just go upstairs and you were at your hotel. It was awesome.
So yeah, I mean, what you just described, this is like not an easy job being a manager. So, what benefits do you get being a manager?
You get a lot. I will say a lot of people don't know the benefits we do get. The first one is we do get some scholarship. As you get older, you get more. So
That's
you do get a little bit of per diem, which is super nice. A lot if you can save it up. I know I saved mine up and then it adds up, which is super nice because you need that because you can't really work another job.
right.
You get a lot of gear. I mean, I have too many pit clothes. My family says I need to get rid of some.
Giveaway.
Yeah, if you want some, let me know.
Hey,
What else? We get a lot of free food. That's a big one, actually. Save a lot of money on food. And just like, sweet experiences that you
yeah.
wouldn't get. So it was definitely worth it.
Well, it's good to know you guys get scholarships and you get paid what you
Yeah.
said, right? You do get
Yeah.
paid some money. So, I mean, you guys are working hard, so you deserve to get it. Do the coaches like, hold you guys accountable? And is there a lot like immense pressure on you guys as a manager?
Yeah, for sure. I would say a lot of pressure.
Dang.
Like it has to be like this. And like they're not yelling at us like in a mean way. It's just they expect so much out of us, which we appreciate. So it goes both ways, which I like.
You got chewed out before?
Yeah. I mean, everyone has. You do something, yeah. You got to be spot on. It's hard to be spot on 24/7, but you get chewed out and you just got to know it's not personal.
Yeah. So how hard was it, managing schoolwork and being a manager? You're basically on the team.
Yeah, well, for me, I kind of had an easier majors, so it wasn't as hard. But I know a couple of we had an engineer who's still a manager now, and Manny's a nurse.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, they have to miss a couple practices, but they do it. I mean, they're grinders, so you just really gotta want to grind if you do it. Like you gotta accept that you're gonna have to sacrifice, a weekend, a lot of weekends, so a lot of days.
Are the
I remember
coaches
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. Are the coaches like understanding of like your majors and your schoolwork and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. But school is obviously first and everyone knows that, but then other than that, like they want us there. And some of the sacrifices, could just be little things. Like I remember I was kind of upset because we had practice on the day football played Clemson and I couldn't go. And it's just like little things where it's like I just got to sacrifice. So,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, how many hours you already said this, but how many hours were you on the P on a daily basis? Like 6 hours it seemed like?
Yeah, and then some nights, the nice thing about being a manager is you also get to use the facilities. So like a lot of us would go up at night and play.
Wow.
So that's something we really enjoyed. And then we would also play the other manager teams, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you that later. So
Okay, cool. Yeah.
so you already brought this up, so You were the boombox guy last year. How was that role, and was there any pressure doing that?
I don't know about pressure. I mean, you can ask the others. I don't know if I did a great job. We kind of did switch boombox one game, and then after that game, everything kind of went downhill. So maybe we should have done that, but hey,
Dang. Is that the reason why we tanked the season? You switched boombox guys?
for one game, I don't know. I don't know.
Was it
But
ever like was it ever like, kind of awkward? Like, holding the boombox, you kind of in that situation where like all the guys were like getting hyped behind you. You had to kind of match their energy. Was it ever like kind of awkward for you?
yeah, for sure. But it's all funny. And then I remember at the beginning, I was like, this is heavy. Like, I'm trying to put this down. I remember on the road sometimes, like, if there wasn't a lot of room, I would just hold it because it was like the walk would be so little. Like, I remember at Duke, it was so tight. And like, I was just like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? But it was super fun because I had to walk upstairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
J-Lo's holding my back. I'm like, I'm about to fall.
What
Pause.
were your thoughts on the McNeese manager, Amir Khan? Like, was that pretty cool for you for a manager to get that famous and stuff?
I mean, I don't know if it was cool. I had a lot of friends text me like, "Oh, this could have been you." I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if I fit that he's funny, that guy, but I don't know. I don't know. It could have been
So,
me. It could have been Kenny. Shout
yep,
out
it
Kenny.
could have been, but there's something about Amir Khan. He just had that aura. I don't know. He was just kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
And he
talking about
he abused that. He got the NIL, which was awesome.
that
Good for
is
him.
true. So, talking about funny, who was the funniest player in your 4 years?
Blake gotta be.
Blake.
Yes. You know Blake, so I mean, I
Yeah.
don't even have to describe it. If you know it, then you know it.
Yeah,
I feel like.
he was hilarious. How about KJ? I think he's definitely up.
But yeah, KJ too. And it's super nice because KJ was a GA this past year. So, you know who's funny? Which doesn't, Matt Watson's very funny. You know Matt.
Yes, I do.
He's
He's a
that guy.
GA as well, right?
Yeah. So, he's
Yeah,
the hardest worker I know.
Blake and KJ are definitely good answers.
Yeah. Those two are funny. But yeah.
So you don't have to single any out, but like, were any players like, super handfuls to like work with?
Yeah. I won't say anyone. Just, I don't want to say anyone. But yes, some people were harder to work with than others. And that doesn't mean they weren't good people. Like we were, could have been friends with them, but yeah, that's life. So
Yeah. Any players in particular, you felt like you made a special bond with, and you're still keeping in touch with them?
yeah, I talked to some guys, reached out to J-Lo, so lately. I mean, it's good to, see them all keep going and just connecting with them. I know Zach was just in the summer league, which was cool. Blake. So yeah, I mean, yeah, try to reach out when I can.
So how cool was it to have a front row seat to some of these amazing players we've had the last couple years, like Bub, Blake, JB?
It's funny, like you describe it like that. Like, I don't know, like when you're doing it, you appreciate it. Like you take a moment, like this is cool, but like you're working.
Yeah.
You don't really think about like, yeah, you have cool moments especially on the road. I really do enjoy the road games. Like, I remember honestly, like my favorite place is Syracuse or Virginia Tech, like just to go to great places. And like, that's when you're like, you look up and you're like, whoa, like this is kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, it's always fun to watch good basketball, good hoops.
I guess so.
And it's fun to hear you and the other zoo leaders chirp. Because I used to hear it. Some of the other, I mean, we were laughing at it though, a lot. And it's funny.
So yeah, what is like the funniest story? Do you have any like what I guess what is the funniest story that you remember happened during your 4 years as a manager?
Hmm. Funniest story. Like in what way? Just like something is.
Something that not many people know about, like any funny stories of the guys in your 4 years, like anything
Mm,
crazy happened.
I don't know about crazy. I mean, honestly, my favorite times as a manager were like unexpected. Like Saturday practices in the fall, we all watched college football in the locker room together while having meal and just like kicking it. Or like, playing Madden a lot. Me and Blake kind of had a little bit of a rivalry. Yeah, he used to get a little mad. I don't think he's ever beaten me.
Me too.
I don't know. Maybe
And
once.
it's they are such huge football fans. I remember talking to Cage and they had like a fantasy league. Like, Bub was a huge Commanders fan.
Yeah, we had a fantasy league. It was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
super
it's
fun.
hilarious. Like Blake is a huge Buccaneers fan, Cage is a huge Eagles fan. It was just hilarious, like hearing them talk about like their teams. I remember KJ was like, "If you cut me right now, like Green will be coming out." Like he's such a big Eagles fan. It was honestly hilarious, and Blake too with the Bucks.
Yeah, this past year we actually had a flag football team. Some of the managers, KJ, Marlon played, Ben and Juan. So yeah.
Yeah, they like football. What was your favorite game and memory? I guess what was your favorite game and memory in your 4 years?
My favorite game was probably Miami sophomore. Well, my sophomore year, so that's
My junior, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was just awesome. I can't even like remember the post game like celebration, but it was fun. And then my favorite memory was probably just traveling to all the games. You get to travel more as a junior and senior, but even as a sophomore, a little. Just traveling and meeting new people and yeah.
Yeah,
Seeing
that
all the
might
campuses. I tried to walk around every campus that I went to.
that's good. Did they give you a lot of time to do that or
It depended. It depended on the game.
so you got some free time to do some things you wanted?
Yeah, I'd sometimes like go for like a run in the morning and try to see the
There
campus.
you go.
Yeah, that was like a good one. So yeah,
But yeah, that Miami game, like my friends and I still talk about that. Like,
yeah,
oh my God, that comeback, that atmosphere, like I've never heard a sound like that in my life. That was just super special. And if we don't win that game, we're not making a tournament. So
yeah.
I'm with you. That game was incredible.
Crazy stuff.
It's I still like can't believe we won that game.
I, that whole year was awesome, honestly.
Oh yeah. I'm still living in 22 and 23.
Yeah, yeah. Good times.
So yeah, last year was obviously a tough season. You guys started off really fast and just kind of, I don't know, all the weaknesses kind of exploited really quickly and it just went downhill extremely fast.
Mm,
A lot of guys transferred out.
mm.
But, on the other hand, I think Capel's done a pretty good job of building a team next year. Do you believe in Coach Capel, getting a bounce back season next year and get us where we want to be?
Yeah, I do. I think Coach Abel's a great guy, so I hope it um I hope they do well this year. I'll be following along. I'll come to a couple games, so I'm excited.
I'm the same way. I'm really liking the roster they built. We get this Roman Lepa. I don't know how to say his name yet, but he looks like a stud and a
Yeah,
couple other pieces. So yeah, I'm excited as well. Just hopefully we have a season where we want it to be.
yeah, hopefully.
So yeah, in the college sports environment, the transfer portal has been extremely rampant. Have you seen these like experiences like firsthand in the locker room with the transfer portal?
Like what do you mean?
I mean, like, do the guys talk about the portal a
Yeah.
lot and like leaving and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you hear some things about someone's unhappy, something about that, but um yeah, I mean, just part of college sports now, I guess. Just what it
Yeah.
is. And sometimes it does work out well. Most of the time I feel like although it like sucks that a lot of the guys left this past year, for them, they had to look out for themselves and just do what's
Uh-huh.
best. But it does suck because, like, next year I only know a couple guys on the pit team, and it's like, dang, everyone's gone.
I know, like 2 years as a zoo leader, like I think the only person left on the team was Papa, and he didn't even play. So like, it is pretty sad.
It's just crazy.
Have you ever like, on a street you have all this Pitt Nike gear? Have anyone ever asked you like, "Oh, do you play on the team?"
But not basketball. I mean, I think they know. I mean, I'm not that tall. I mean, I'm pretty tall, but not that tall. Other sports, yeah, just because all the gear we get, but you just say you're a manager, and that's like a big blow, and then keep on going.
So is anyone like, "Oh, this kid's a track and field," or like,
Yeah, I mean, they think track and field or I've gotten like soccer once, stuff like that. I don't know. You just kind of laugh at it.
so you've talked about it before, but you're on the court. What is the true impact of the Oakland Zoo on these home games?
A lot, actually. I feel like I learned more about that as I traveled because, like, when we went to an away stadium and there was no fans, you were like, "This sucks." Like, there's no energy in here. Like, this is not easy, but, like, it's not as an advantage. And then honestly, like, I'm not even just saying this to say this. And, like, we've had talks about this, and the other managers and I. Like, the Oakland Zoo, honestly, can be when they're at, like, their peak, which was probably, like, 2022, to be honest, it's, like, one of the loudest in the ACC. Like, I'm like, it's not as loud as the Pete when like, if there's a timeout. So, I think just hopefully, last year towards the end, it got a little shaky, the Zoo. A lot of, chirping towards the bench, which is what it is. But
Like chirping at you guys?
not me, but, yeah, some of the team. But, I mean, we were struggling, so it's warranted. But, yeah, the Zoo makes an impact.
Yeah, that 22-23 season, we had so many great home wins that year. I thought the environment was amazing. A couple of those games, I do think it made a true impact. That
Sure.
Miami game, it was so loud, and you could see Miami crumble.
Yes.
It
Even
was
this
that
past year, like, North Carolina at home, the Zoo won that game.
yeah, true, true. And a lot of other games as well. So yeah, hopefully I don't know. I'm starting not to know the zoo leaders anymore, so I'm hoping like I know one of them, so I'm still just hoping like we could keep what my group did and just keep it rolling because with the zoo, the basketball team needs the zoo, and we need to
Yes.
give the best environment we can to get help our guys win games because there's great opportunities on your home floor in the ACC.
Mhm, I agree.
Yeah, was it really tough being around like losing streaks and frustrations during the seasons?
Yeah. It's hard, like, 'cause, it's so hard to show up the next day after you lose a tough game. Like, I remember the hardest day was probably, like, this past year after we lost that Louisville game because we were all like, "What just happened?" At home, I mean.
Yes, yeah, I knew. Yeah, that game
Yeah.
was tough.
Yeah, and we're like, "Whoa." And then, like, the vibes are down. Or then when we had a couple game losing streaks, it's hard to show up every day, but that's why it's like this is when kind of the manager thing comes in, like, we're kind of the ones that have to help bring up the energy. And I think, we did a good job of that. We tried our best. I'd be on aux a lot. I'd try to play songs that lighten the mood a little when it should be lightened. Sometimes it shouldn't be lightened, like, but, you know, you just gotta keep on going.
Yeah, your guys' playlists before the games were always awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Hey, I appreciate that. That's big. That's
A lot
big
of
to hear.
Drake, which that's good. So, are all the managers like, are you guys like high school basketball players, or like you guys good at basketball, or you just guys just like basketball, or is it a mix of all that?
Mix of all of it, but we all do like to play, like I said. We play the manager games, which is fun.
Well,
And
that's my
we
next question. So,
Okay.
like, go well, how the manager games work?
It's really easy, actually. You just hit them up on Twitter. Steve or George did. Be like, "You want to play?" And then go from there. And then on the road, it'd be us, the three seniors. Charles Gatewood, which is our video guy, he'd play. KJ, Matt, Blows. So yeah, there'd be like 6, 7 of us. Pliz, if you know Pliz, he'd come watch.
Yes, I know, Pliz.
Yeah, so we had a good time. And then at home, some of the other managers came. So we were good, I guess. I mean, I can't remember our record, but I think it was positive.
So you just played all the teams you were playing, like all the teams you were playing, you just play the
Yeah.
managers
Like
that
we
day,
played
or
WVU, we played North Carolina, we played Virginia Tech, NC State. We played LSU at the Greenbrier. That was really fun.
oh, that's cool.
That was fun. That was probably the most fun.
So did you play them like the night before the game or something?
Yeah, always the night before. At like 10.
I mean, I would hope you guys would win like KJ if it wasn't for like injuries and stuff. He's like a D1 basketball player, so I hope you guys would win with him.
Yeah, he carried. But a lot of these schools have some good guys.
Gotcha. So yeah, it seems like you guys like all like were decent at basketball then. So yeah, so you were kind of talked about before, but how crazy was it for you that you had an inside look at everything? Like you knew all the news before it came out. So how was that? Like you knew everything. Like you saw the news come. I was like, oh, I already knew that like a couple days ago.
I thought it was cool, I guess. I mean, it was just kind of like daily stuff, so it wasn't like a shock to me. Like when I see like a Steeler news, I'm like, or the Pistons. If I see something with the Pistons, I'm like, what? But with Pitt, it was just like I already knew, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So a fun fact about you is you were a ball boy for the Pirates. So you were a manager for Pitt basketball. You're a ball boy for the Pirates, two teams in the city had an involvement with. How was that experience being a ball boy with the Pirates? And do you have any funny stories?
Yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed that summer. I had to stay in Pittsburgh for basketball, so I was like, might as well try to get a little side gig going. And I just knew someone who knew someone and then was sitting on the field at the Pirate games all of a sudden. So that was super fun. Honestly, it's super weird being like a ball boy for the Pirates. It's like it's different than you would expect. Like you really have to pay attention to every pitch because, I got some rockets down the line. And then I mean just like I kind of would see like some of these guys aren't really friends with each other. And some of these guys have weird demeanors on the
Like the
Pirates.
Pirates players?
Yeah, I'm like it's kind of interesting. Like I wouldn't notice that cuz I'm so close to them. And it's just like, you know, it's just you wouldn't expect that, but that's the truth. But funny stories? I mean, just something funny that I loved was just like all the kids begging for balls. I used to make them like play games to like, best two out of three for rock, paper, scissors to get the ball. And like, that was just like the thing you had to handle. And it's really the parents who were the worst. It
Yeah, I
kind of
bet.
brings me
They
back to
probably
my
freak
umping
out.
days though. So I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I'll just pick who I give the ball to.
The thing about the Pirates is they're just so rough. Like the players, team environment's probably just so bad. Like they probably don't like each other at all because the team is so bad.
Yeah, but last year when I was doing it, they were hot, and after the All-Star break, they were 500. They
Yeah.
swept the Phillies, and I was like, that was go time, and then it just went downhill. It was
Yep.
like every Pittsburgh sport last year, literally.
Story of Bob Nutting.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your manager experience. Do you think this experience for 4 years being a manager, is it gonna help prepare you for your, potential career post grad?
But yeah. And I think it has already, but yeah, like I learned so many things like that I feel like I wouldn't have learned if I wasn't put in the situations that I was in, like just like handling stress, handling how people act, learning how different people act, stuff like that. So, yeah, super beneficial for me. I feel like I learned a ton, and it's just not even about basketball, just about like working. Like
Yeah,
that work ethic too helps a lot.
yeah. So this is the last question. What did, Pitt basketball, being a manager of the Pitt basketball team mean to you?
It meant a lot. It gave me sort of a way to meet new people in school. I remember, I'm originally from Michigan. I think I mentioned that earlier. So
Mhm.
like I came to Pitt not knowing anyone, which was a huge jump. So, I automatically had friends within the basketball organization. And then just, it also just, like I just said, just taught me a lot. So super blessed that I got to do it.
And you grew up a Michigan fan, Michigan State?
It gets a little complicated, the whole Michigan State, because my dad went to Carnegie Mellon and my mom went to W&J.
Okay.
So it's like it's a whole thing here, It's complicated, I would say. But yeah,
Well, you get to see a good football team and a good basketball team. You don't really see that at Pitt sometimes, unfortunately. We're not a powerhouse here.
maybe one day. Maybe one day.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We've been good at each at one point of
Yeah.
our
Well,
existence. Maybe
I
we'll
will
see.
say, my favorite college player of all time's got to be Cassius Winston.
It's not Blake Henson or
Well, I kind of worked with them, so I can't count them.
true. I got you. I
But
got you.
if it wasn't, like someone growing up, I mean, Cassius Winston's got to be
That's
it.
a good. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, this was amazing. I honestly didn't know much about what you all did. I'm like pretty like you guys are kind of like the walk-ons, the managers. You guys are the truly the backbones of our team. So thank you so much, Jacob, for all you've done for the program the last 4 years. You really were a huge part of what Pitt basketball did. So the manager is so important to the team. I think the players and the coaches would say that as well, that you guys are the backbones of the team. You guys make everything happen. So, it was great having you on here in these experiences. It was really great talking to you for the last 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here. Yeah, it was a great experience, and Pitt in general was awesome.
Yep.
Gotta love Pitt. So.
Hell to Pitt.